It's Saturday the 22nd of August. I'm making this video in the aftermath of a storm that's been going on about proposed redevelopment arrangements for St Neots, St Ives and Huntingdon. Part of the controversy has been that there have been some plans which would have involved potentially building on some of the car parks in those three towns. And our Liberal Democrat councillors have been quiet about those. Quiet because they've been unable to comment. We've recently had a by-election in St Neots, and during the course of that campaign, there are rules limiting what the Liberal Democrat leader and the cabinet members can say. Essentially, those rules are about stopping them using their position to unduly influence an election, but it's meant they've been unable to comment on other things as well. What's been up for discussion have been some proposals, well short of being where planning permission is being sought. But councillors have had to be a bit careful there as well, because if planning permission does get sought, it's really important that councillors haven't made up their minds in advance. So you can't have councillors campaigning against something that they may then have to decide about. But the fundamental issue here is something quite different. I'm sitting here in the centre of St Ives, relatively quiet. It didn't used to be like that. Once upon a time, our town centres were where everybody came for their shopping. Now many of us are buying online, buying from out-of-town supermarkets, and our town centres are struggling. And the fundamental point has been, what do we do to regenerate our town centres? And if that involves any building of homes, what do we do to ensure that people who are on low incomes are struggling to find places to live can actually afford somewhere to live? That's the context of the discussion that's been going on. Whether the plans that have come forward from Capital and Centric are the right way to go is a very open question. One of the reasons for having a consultation is so that people's views can be sought, discussions can happen. This isn't about deciding in advance. It's been very frustrating that the Liberal Democrat team have had to be quiet during the election campaign. And the giant consolation is we won with a very handsome majority in St Neots in Amesbury, and that changes the balance on the council. But actually the fundamental point and the fundamental discussion we're having to have is, how do we regenerate our town centres so that they're places people want to spend time in, want to visit, and are economically thriving. And in the background, I've had my ear bent fairly firmly by people frustrated with the number of vape shops turning up, which is why there's a vape shop in the thumbnail for this video. A while back, Reform nationally came out with a rather daft idea to license vape shops nationally and limit the number across the country, which is to solve the problem in the wrong direction, because actually what we should be asking is, why are so many of our town centres sufficiently depleted to mean that vape shops are turning up? And what can we do to turn our town centres back into places where people are wanting to spend lots of time? And perhaps one indication of that is that as I'm making this video, people are walking past, but not many of them. There's a little bit of traffic, but not much. And that's just an indication of a town centre that perhaps is in need of regeneration, is in need of more to draw people in here to ensure that it continues to thrive.